Good evening, my wonderful people. How are you all doing? I trust and hope you are all doing fine. By the grace of God, it's been a while. I am so excited. I'm excited to be here with you this evening. I am really excited. Please call in the Calvary, call in, the troops, call in the people. We are live. We are live streaming. We are back live. So, how are you all doing? How are you doing? Talk to me. Let's talk a bit because it's been a while. Let's talk a bit. How are you all doing? I hope and trust you're all doing fine. I'm fine. I've just been taking time to, check some things out, try and redo some new, just trying some things out, because I was not getting the vibe recently, and I'm like, okay, let's try and do things a bit different, and so that when we come live, even though you've always been getting quality, but then yes, you are getting the best. So thank you all for the patience. Thank you also for not giving up, for um, keeping posting, keeping your engagement on all the pages, all the channels. Thank you. I do not take you all for granted. I am so blessed to have you all. Thank you so much. Once again, good evening and welcome. Welcome to this edition of Discovery Time. I am so excited, and I hope you are too. I am really excited to come your way because this topic is it encompasses a lot. It encompasses a lot. And when I was preparing it, I know we use this kind of thinking, for the corporate world. So I was like, yeah, there are some things that we are not getting right because for for the corporate world to work, you need to start seeing yourself as a corporate, as a business, so that you start using these techniques on yourself and then you can function well. So, anyways, that's what brought me to this topic: strategic thinking. You as a business, you are a business, I am a business, we are a project in progress. So, as you join, thank you. Help us share, help us do what we do best so that many people will also be blessed with this topic. Strategic thinking, like I said in my introduction, you know, when you think of strategic thinking, so far we've been using it in the corporate world. We've been using it for businesses to reflect, think, analyze with all kinds of tools what they need, how they are functioning, and what they need to function better, what their people need, and all this time comparing it with other companies, other, um, the whole surrounding as well. How is the politics involving or impacting them? The economical growth in total, how is it impacting them? Societal changes, how is it impacting them? Um, just also the environment, how is it impacting them, and how are they also impacting on all that? So when we think of strategic thinking, we most of the time think businesses, corporations. Those are the ones that need this kind of thinking. Those are the ones that need this kind of um analysis, and so that they can what work better, so that they can be efficient, so that they can get the results that they need to get. However, this evening, I want us to come back to the essence. You know me, I always try to bring things back to ourselves. Bring back to ourselves, because whatever you are not to yourself, you cannot be to others. Whatever you are not giving yourself, you can also not give. So you can be CEO of a company, but if you are not thinking and you are not seeing yourself as a project in that role, in life itself, you are going to miss it big time. And for you to be effective in life, now I'm talking in general, in life, not only at your workplace, but in life in general, you need to see life as a project. You need to start seeing life, your life, as a business. Because it is when you start thinking about your life, when you start thinking and seeing yourself as that business, you become that valuable. You make yourself that valuable. Why? Because you are thinking as a business. Business. Another word. When we say business, people are thinking ching, 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 money, money, money. But one thing about business is it's not always about money. You need to make yourself valuable before the money can be attracted to you. It's not always about ching, 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 but it's about developing yourself. It's about manifesting who you are, manifesting all that is in you, developing and manifesting the goodies that are in you, but need first to be identified, need to be worked on, and then you bring it forth. That's how businesses work. Business don't start with, I'm going to make millions. They don't start with that. They don't start with, I'm going to make millions. But they start with, there is a problem. How do we solve it? There is a problem. How do we solve it? Or how do we create a need for something? Even though there is no problem, how do we create a need for that? That's how businesses start. Now, if you see yourself as a business, as a project that you need to see yourself, and I hope after this evening, you will start to have a rethink about who you are. You will start to have a rethink about how you approach yourself. When you start thinking like that, you know, you each time you will want to be moving forward. You will want to be adding one or two things to what you already know so that you will continually be growing. Because life as we know it, it's not stagnant. Life is moving. It's a life past life. If you don't make life happen, life will pass you by. Life is constantly moving. So you also need to move along with life to make life happen for you, to make life what work for you. It doesn't just happen. So if you want it to work for you, you need to be moving. You need to do something, because once you stay stagnant, there is no growth. Have you seen water that stays at one place where there is no chance of filtering or new water coming, where there is no flow? Have you seen how that water becomes? It becomes dirty, it becomes smelly. You don't want to go near that water. It attracts flies, mosquitoes, all kinds of things. So imagine you as a person just remaining at one place, remaining stagnant, not moving forward, no going, just stagnant there. You are just there. The, the very life itself will depart from you, because life wants what? Movement. Life is moving. Life wants movement. So this strategic thinking is here to waking you up, trigger you to start seeing life differently. Another thing that I just first want to clear the room what strategic thinking is not. It is not manipulation, my dear people. No, because sometimes people think like, oh, strategic thing, is those that use strategy. They are those that. corny, kind of like people that want to, fraud or no. Let's clear that. Strategic thinking is not manipulation. Strategic thinking is not finding ways how to defraud people. That is not what the topic is about. That is not what the concept is about. I just said strategic thinking is what we use in the corporate world to improve businesses, to make them think big, to make them dream big. Why? Because then they see also the opportunities, they see what they can actually achieve. So if businesses are approaching and using this concept, why will we be left out? Why will you leave you yourself out? You are there thinking, I want to start a business. I want to do this. I want to move forward. I want to do that. I want to make the big bugs. All good. All good. But if you don't take time to work on yourself, I wonder how you're going to do that. I wonder how you are going to achieve that. So, strategic thinking, please, is not manipulation. Strategic thinking is not the best way and the fastest way to do something or to get from A to B. It's not always the case. So let's clear that out of the way. It is not, don't misunderstand it. Don't take it as something to mislead people. When there is war, people say, oh, let's go and define our strategy, how to approach. If you don't take time to reflect and to plan, obviously your opponent will take time and plan, and then you'll be defeated. That is when it comes to war. That is when it comes to sports. That is when it comes to a whole lot of other things, a whole bunch of other things. So, strategic thinking in your life is so, so, so important. And today, I just want to lay the foundation. I just want to lay the foundation of what it is, what it is not. And as we move on, we'll be building from those foundations. So, I've already said it is not manipulation, it is not to mislead others, but it is the very thing that we need in our lives, that we need to be effective in life, to make life happen for us. If businesses are adopting this concept, then you need to get on the wagon, you need to get on the train and adapt it to your life, adapt and apply it in your life. When you start seeing your life as a business, because you don't want business to fail, right? When you start seeing your life as a business, there are some things you there are some steps you start taking so that you grow that business, which is you. I have always said that I don't agree with the way that the world makes us think, in the sense that they say that our basic need in life is food and shelter. I disagree with that. The basic need in life, in our life, in everyone's life, food and shelter included, but the most important one is that you self manifest, that you know who you are. Because when you know who you are, you'll be able to provide for the shelter, you'll be able to provide for the food. Yes, we need food to grow, we need food to do all other things. But the basic need is not just surviving. It's not just surviving. Your basic need goes beyond survival. Your basic need goes, it's finding out who you are and manifesting it. That's why we keep, there is this thing that even though you have eaten, you still feel this hunger in you. You still feel like you want, you need to get somewhere. So for me, that tells me, in as much as food is like the fuel that the body needs, it's a fuel. If you have a car and you don't tank your car, the car is not going to move. So yes, it's a fuel, but you should not limit it to that, because when you tank the car and you don't move it, you leave it there, is the car fulfilling its purpose? No. So the most important thing for each and every one of us as human beings is to fulfill our purposes. And how do you do that? Is to identify who you are, identify the problems that you are to solve. That's why I say your life is a business. Businesses solve problems, right? We just said that. They look for problems to solve, or they offer services to make things easier, which also is solving problem. So you have a problem, other people can solve it for you, and they have some issues that you can solve. So your purpose is identifying which areas you are a solution giver. Sorry, you are a solution giver. You are to give solution. That is really the essence of life. We are not just to eat, sleep, wake up, eat, sleep. If that is if we have that, then it's okay. No, there is so much to life. So when you start approaching life like this, seeing it like this, strategic thinking becomes very, very, very essential. Very, very essential. If you don't plan your ways, you will live life anyhow. If you don't know where you are going to, any road, anywhere, you see yourself, you say it's okay. Why? You lack vision. That's where it starts. That is where it starts. Have you ever seen a business starting without a vision? I mean, I haven't. Most of the time with business development, they ask, what is your vision? What is your mission? What what is the your aim? And how are you going to do it? So you have to have that. And then you have to have a business plan. How are you going to achieve those things? You put all that in a business plan. You can't make a plan if you don't have a vision, because your vision give birth to your plan. If your whole plan is just making money, it's baseless. You don't have a plan, because you have no idea, and you have not make any room even in how to sustain that money that you want to make. So you don't have plan. If the goal, your whole aim is just be rich, like a lot of us think, I just want to be rich, I just want to make money, I just want to make it big time. How? Through which means? Where? What do you have? We don't do that. So, but when you have vision, it will help guide your ways. It will help guide your ways. It will help move you forward. Good evening, all. You are welcome. Thank you for tuning in. You are welcome. It will help to move you forward. It will guide you in your decision making, because there are some decisions you not just take lightly. You know, I wrote a book, and in my book, I differentiate between decision made from the heart and decision made from the mind. Any decision that you made from the mind is based on emotions. And if you are using emotions to make decision, you just know that it's baseless, because emotions is fleeing, they change. Today you're happy, tomorrow you're sad, the very moment you're happy with this and that, it changes. So if you are making your decision based on your emotions, based on your mind, you will miss it. But the decision that comes from the heart, which comes from your subconsciousness, it's deep, it's rooted, you've thought over it, you've like sat on it, marinate or do a whole lot of process before you now say, okay, I'm going for it. And those kind of decisions are not easily changed. Why? They went through a whole process. They went through a whole like a whole filter before you arrived on that decision. You do not base on emotions. So when you identify your vision, when you identify your purpose, when you identify the way forward, you will know what not to do, what to do, where which road not to take, because you know the destination. The worst thing in life, the worst thing you can do to yourself in life is to start a journey without knowing your destination. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. And a lot of us are living that kind of life. We are living a life with no destination. And that's why any road, anywhere we see ourselves goes, because you do not have any destination to start with. But you need destination so that you will know which road not to take, so that you will plan your ways well. Strategic thinking make you speak with purpose. You move with intention. And with that, there is clarity. For me, strategic thinking is summarized in wisdom. If it should be summarized in one word, it is what? Wisdom. Wisdom doesn't make noise. So you're not going to be standing elsewhere and announcing here and there, things and that. No, you don't make noise. Wisdom seeks understanding before responding. So if you come across some certain things, you first want to seek understanding. And that understanding must first come from you. See, when you become aware of who you are, there are certain things you will not project things out there. You first reflect, am I the one that maybe is processing it this way, or did this really happen? And if so, how do we deal with it? How do we deal with it? You seek to have understanding. You seek to have understanding. It's so important that we change our mindset. They say everything begins with, the mind. How you are programmed determines a lot. And unfortunately, we've been programmed to think in a certain way that is not beneficial for us, for our development, your individual development. We are programmed in a certain way that it's not helping us to grow the kind of growth that we need, the kind of growth also the world needs. I have to pause here a bit for this to sink in, because you know that we are in a program. Let's just settle this. The world is organized in a way, it's organizing systems. It's organized in a way that, you know, the program is set up to make you think in certain ways so that it will be easier for you to adapt some certain things. Unfortunately, it is not leading you to develop your personality. It is not leading you to develop your full strength, capabilities. You might develop in that field that you are somehow pushed into, but maybe not who you really are or ought to be. We are living in systems. You yourself, you are a system. I did a teaching on this some months ago about systems. Maybe I'll repeat it again so that we have a clear understanding. So, the systems influencing you are set up for a certain reason. And you need to come to that understanding. You need to know, you need to understand so that you'll be able to know how you respond adequately to those systems. Your mindset needs to change because there is some kind of programming that we have gone through. If you don't start deprogramming yourself from them, unfortunately, you will not be able to manifest your full potential on this earth. It's so important that we know this. It's so important that we have this understanding. That's what wisdom does. It seeks understanding before making noise. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't just move. Bah, bah, bah. Understanding. Emotions are kept where they are needed. Emotions are very important. They are given to us for a reason, like every other thing given to us. And they are to regulate us, they are to regulate our own self, together with all the hormones and everything, and also the relationship we have with others. Emotions are there for a reason, but they are not there to lead us in taking some in when it comes to taking some decisions, very important decisions. They are not there to be the compass of our lives. That's what reasoning is there for. But for you to be able to reason well, you need to identify those things influencing your reasoning. Strategic thinking makes you pause, makes you think, makes you analyze all these things. How am I thinking? Why do I think like this? What and what and what is leading me to think like this? Is it the right way to think? What books am I reading? Who is whispering what into my ears? Which TV programs, social media, whatsoever news am I consuming? Your eyes are your doorway, the doorways to your soul. Your soul is where all your real emotions. So those things are influencing your soul. How you see the world is influenced by whatever the world is projecting to you. That's why I said we are in a program. We are in a system. And then your system has to process it and then, also give back thinking this is my own. Is it though? Is it your own? Or is it the process of what you've seen that you are just mirroring, that you are just giving back? So you need to take time and think these things through. What are the things? What are the things influencing me? After that, how do I, or first of all, what are the things influencing me? After you have done that deep analysis, please do take time. Nowadays, because everything is fast, fast, we don't take time to reflect on things. We don't invest in time with time. And that is a big, big problem. Because if you will go and ask all these rich people, all these millionaires you are aspiring to be, that have big businesses, both now and in the past, if you go and ask them what they do to tell that they are where they are, I can only say that from the books that I've read about them, the books like Think Rich, Grow Rich of Napoleon Hill, very interesting book, by the way, books and messages from Jim Rohn, also another very important. What I've learned from there, what I've learned from, this is just a few things. There is a book that I am reading from Jim Rohn, and I think it's how to think successfully, something like that. And in all that, all these are mentioned. Take time to reflect, take time to analyze. So the secret that they have that you think is a waste of time is that they take time to reflect on things. They also take time to invest in themselves. One thing that we don't want to do, we see it as a waste of time. But do you know that the best time you can spend is the time you invest in yourself? Not the kind of investment you spend and you sleep. That one is not time investing, that is time wasting. Not the kind of investment that you do and watch binge TV, like binge films, over and over. Nuh-uh. That is also time wasting. Not the kind of investment that you will do and you will just be, how shall I put it, among friends. Think I'm socializing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There is time for all that. But if most of your time is to be out there socializing and networking, you think that also is time wasting. There is time for everything, and everything has to be in proportion. But what you can never go wrong is the time that you invest in yourself wisely. The time that you invest in reading books, good books, not novel romance, but good books that will add to your knowledge, that will trigger you to know more, that will kind of like make you hungry really to explore the world. Those kind of books, invest in them. Invest time and invest resources in getting them. Invest time in reflecting on the things that kind of like have influence. That's a good investment because you become aware. What you don't know, you can never correct. You can never work on. You can never change what you don't know. But when you become aware of those things, it helps you. It helps you a lot. All this that I'm saying is what in the business world they will call SWOT analysis. SWOT. SWOT analysis. The S standing for strength. SWOT analysis. Strength. You identify your strength. What am I good at? What are the things that I can do with no stress? The characteristics that I carry, that I have, that is so good. Your strength. It's about you, the individual. What are your strengths? Even when you go for solicitation, when you go for interview, they will ask you, okay, can you tell us a bit more about, what are your strengths? What are you good at? And some will say some things because they've read somewhere and they think it's good. Oh, I am a team player. I am this, I am that. But in which sense are you all those things that you are saying? How are you to yourself? What is really your strength? I can adopt fast. Yeah. How? Can you give a concrete example? What are your strengths? Others will say, what do you bring to the table? But I don't like that word. What do you bring to the table? Like, you know, no. Say it as it is. What are your strengths? And then the W stands for weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? When I ask my students, some, in the past, they will tell me, "Oh, but Miss, I don't have any weakness, or I find it difficult." That's some. Most of us find it so difficult to reflect on our weaknesses. What are your weaknesses? Because we think because it's a weakness, it's I don't know, it diminish, it makes you less of a human. I don't understand. I don't get it. Because we all have weaknesses. No one is perfect. When you ask for strength, those that are confident will boast out, "Oh, this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that." Those that are less confident, will start to be, I don't know, I have them. Those are the ones that will go first to all their weaknesses before they come to their strength. So there also you see who has what, who the weaknesses actually of both parties. You see their weaknesses there. Weaknesses are not, how should I put it? Weaknesses is not your end game, or it's not something to be ashamed of. In fact, you should be so aware of your weaknesses in order for you not to be a victim of them. You need to be aware of your weaknesses. Not that they have to paralyze you, not that they have to stop you. No, we are coming there. But so that you will know how to work on them, or what to do, so that you can be able to move from where you are, the vision that you have envisioned for yourself. You need to become aware of your weaknesses. It's not a shame. It's not something to hide, but it is something to become aware, to work on. Because your weaknesses can become your strength if you work on them. Even during interviews, some weaknesses can be seen as strength. I remember once I had to undergo interview myself. All of us, we've been to interview, right? If you want to be employed, you have to go through. You go through that process. And I remember then, because I was so aware of my weaknesses, I said, my weakness sometimes is that I am so critical to myself. And it's a weakness because sometimes it block you from accepting that something is okay or something is good, because I doubt, I'm like so critical about myself that whatever I've done, I would just be like, I don't think so. Or, well, I don't know. Just let it, maybe I'm just being over critical. And that was a weakness. But at the same time, to some certain level, it was a strength. Because of that, you become more vigilant to some certain things, because you don't want there to be critics, you want to avoid those kind of things, so you try your best to do some things better. But it was a weakness because it was blocking at the same time. You understand me? But when you become aware of them, you now start working on them. You can work on your weaknesses and it becomes a strength. You can work on your weaknesses, which for me will give you new opportunity. And then we come to the O. O stands for opportunity. We are dealing with the SWOT analysis, the SWOT tool. S, I said, stands for strength. W stands for weaknesses. And now we are in the O, opportunities. The opportunities are with my skills. What other, what is there? Or which other skill can I learn? No, knowing where I want to go to, knowing where my future is. Which other skills can I build on? What are the opportunities out there for me with the strength that I have and also with the weaknesses that I have? How can I work on my weaknesses to create more opportunities? Because sometimes we are so stuck in the negativity that we don't see the opportunities. We don't see that even in those weaknesses, there are opportunities passing us by. There are opportunities passing us by. The Bible says that, the race is not for the swift, neither the battle for the strong. Well, to them all, what? Time and chance happens to all. For me, between time and chance is opportunity. Time and chance makes the difference. When you see at the right time and you are at the right place and you see that opportunity and seize it. Time and chance is opportunity. Seeing it and seizing it. Not the one that is fast, not the one that is strong, but the one that sees the opportunity at the time that is there and sees it. So if you don't see around you the opportunities, you can't make good use of it. You can't make good use of it and it will be passing you by. Maybe before you get a chance like that, it will, time has passed. I pray that will not be our portion by the grace of God. So see the opportunities and seize them. You have a lot of opportunities. That is your room for growth, which with your strength, even with your weaknesses, the room for growth that is still in you is an opportunity. The skills that you can still acquire is an opportunity. Then if you look outside of you, your surroundings, what is there that can help you move from A to B? Those are the chances, the opportunity that you need to seize. And the T stands for threats. Threats. What are the threats? What are the things blocking you? The example that I gave of some people that are very, very, very timid, shy, filled with this lack of self-esteem. It is not only a weakness, it is a threat. Because they've allowed their weaknesses to overpower them, that it has become a threat. They don't see through it. They don't see any other opportunity. They don't see chances. They don't see ways. They don't see room for improvement. It's a threat. If you don't see room for improvement, it's a big threat because day in, day out, we are to be moving. We are to be improving. When you are improving, you are moving. Moving is not jumping from one job to the other. No, that is not that is not progress. It is not jumping from hopping from one education, one subject to the other. No, that is not it. But that which you have, be grounded, ground yourself in it, be grounded in it, and grow from there. A tree Most trees, the first or most seeds, let me put it this way, when you put a seed in the ground, in the soil, the seed first die to the soil and then start to shoot up. Now, the strongest tree, what do they do? The strongest tree plant, they make sure that first they grow deep, they grow first deep. So it might take them years to shoot up. Some, you might plant corn and few before you know it, bam, 3 months, corn is up. And there are some that are taking time to really be grounded, rooted. When the wind blows, the wind can easily blow down the corns because they don't have very strong roots. They are not rooted very strongly. But those ones that take time to root down before now starting to shoot up, it might take time. But when they start shooting up, oh my dear, they are strong, they are grounded, and they produce. So, which one do you want to be? The fast, 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 or the one that takes time to invest in being well grounded? The one that makes sure that the weaknesses still benefit are turned to opportunities instead of turning into threats. Fearful people also allow the fear to be a threat. It becomes a limiting factor in their development. Too fearful to try things, too fearful to go and learn this, too fearful to take the step. Anything blocking you from taking step is a threat. If that step you need to take is in alignment with the vision and your purpose that you need to fulfill, then anything blocking you is a threat and you need to be aware of it. And threats, you need to work them out. It's not all weaknesses we can work out. We need to have weaknesses, anyways. That makes life actually interesting. Why? Because it makes us interdependent. It makes us interdependent, and that is the whole process of life. No one person has everything. We don't have it all. So that something is my weakness should not necessarily be a standing block or should not be something to be ashamed of. No, it's because I can do it, but there is someone else out there that can maybe do that or is very good in that area. Then you can partner with such person or learn from such person. And you can boldly say, well, that's not my strength. I'm not good in that, but thank God you are, and I can, rely on you. That's what makes ways. So we you don't have to know it all. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to. So having weaknesses is not and should not be an issue. How having threat, however, is something to look into. It's something to analyze deeply. It's something to ask yourself, what can you do to unlock that threat? What can you do to make sure that that threat does not block you from moving from A to B? That's something that you really need to look into. What are you afraid of? You know, some people don't make any move because of fear of uncertainty. I don't know what I'm going to face. I I I don't know. Obviously, we don't know and we can't know it all. And it's not meant for us to know it all. However, life is predictable. If you make some certain choices, you can predict the outcome. So that life is predictable. You cannot predict what other people are going to do, what other people are going to choose. Yes, but the choices that you make, you can predict what the outcome of that is going to be. So, to some certain level, you can't predict life. Can you know it all? No, but it should not stop you. So, look into it. What are your threats? This SWOT analysis, we do it in the corporate world. We make sure that every business has this and make this so that when you're making a business plan, you need to incorporate it. You need to think about those things. As a business, what are your strengths? So, what am I going to solve? What are the qualities that I'm bringing to the table to do A, B, and Z? Your strength is also the vision that you have and all those kinds. Then you move to the weaknesses. What is there that you lack, for example, or you don't really have some finance, some certain skills, some you know you yeah, finance is my weakness. I want to go and upgrade myself in school, but I don't have the finance. Okay, how am I going to deal with that? How do I go and borrow money? Or, for the business world, this is what we need. But based on your weakness, based on your strength, your weaknesses then becomes, let me put it this way. If your strength is so well grounded and balanced, your weaknesses will be like what they consider as a risk, but not a, it's not like a huge risk if your strengths are up to the, standard. But if your weaknesses overweigh your strength, then you have a problem. Then your business plan is already weak. So you need to work on yourself before you say, I am bringing this business plan out and I'm going to look for investors. Because if you come, just take the school that going back to school or taking a course. If you go to someone to ask for money to help sponsor because you have identified that, well, the money is a problem. And if you go and the person asks one or two questions, okay, fine, you want to go and study this for what? And you cannot answer, well, I want to go and study because it sounds good. If that is your answer already, your opportunity is gone. You see how it works? Your opportunity is gone because you did not take time to work very well on your strength based on the vision. So it's so important. In the corporate world, SWOT analysis really is huge. So you as a business make this a huge thing. Take a paper, any size of paper, A4, and divide it into four. When you divide it into four, the first part, write strength. The second part, write weaknesses. The third part, write opportunities. And the other part, write threats. And then think for yourself, what are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? Some people prefer, like I said, some start with their weaknesses because they are so focused on everything and anything that is not working, that is negative. So they start with their weaknesses. One thing with that is that your weaknesses block you from seeing your strength. So I will advise you start first with your strength. Force yourself to start with your strength. Now, when you're starting with your strength, don't also be filled with so much pride that you think that you're so good and everything. Tak, 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 tak. Be realistic. Be honest with yourself because we all have areas of improvement. And then you go over to your weaknesses, your opportunities. Why do we keep the threats for last? If you start with your threat, again, that one will block you. You just be, oh yeah, you see, that's right. That's why it can never work. So then you give up. So keep the threats for last after you've done your strength, your weaknesses, and your opportunities. Now, why do we go like that? Because from your weaknesses, you can actually see some opportunities if you're able to work on your weaknesses. You can see some opportunities for growth and build it up. And then the threats, those ones you can't like you cannot do anything about, like the environment, decisions of others. Those ones that you cannot do anything about, you let them go. You let them be. You know they are a threat. And you work your way around it. See, how can I work my way around this? You don't, how should I put it? You don't ignore them, but how do you work your way around it? One thing very important that I want to say about threats is, please do not see other people as threats. Because once you start seeing other people as threats, it becomes a problem. Except, indeed, they are threats, like real threats. That's a different thing. That's not even what we are saying here. Also, do not compare yourself when you are making all this whole analysis with another person. It is you. You are the business. You have to compare yourself with yourself. Move from A, B, C with yourself, within yourself. And then once in a while, look out and be okay, because you are not incongruent with any, you are not, like, you are not fighting, struggling, all these things with anyone. It is you seeking to know more about you, to develop, to grow. And yes, you have to open to see around you. Why? Because we are not islands. Obviously, things affect us, like the government, the economy, the environment, the society we are in, and whatever religion we profess. All those things affect us. So you cannot be blind to them. You should look at them. You should incorporate somehow in your analysis, but don't allow them to block you. You see them, and then the question is, what can we do? How do we go about them? How do we improve on them? How do I improve myself so much that I can navigate myself my way through? I'm going to end by saying the story of the eagle. Those that have been following me, every time, like, I'm fascinated about eagles and the way the eagle train their young. To us, it's sometimes, if you see a parent, discipline or be training their children like that, if we should bring it in human term, you would think that's a very rough training. But because they know the environment that they are in, they know the kind of strength their little ones need to develop, so that they can be able to navigate the world around them, so that they can be able to survive. They need to put them through those kind of training. And that is how we, for ourselves, we need to do. There are things you can't control. The air, the wind, they can't control it. But you need to train the child to deal with them. I mean, in this case, eagle baby, to deal with them. To use the storm, to see the storm as an opportunity, not as a threat. To see the storm as a way of resting their wings and gliding and using it to soar, while others will see the storm as a threat. So, if you train yourself to see some certain things not as threat, okay, they are there, yes, but maybe you can use it to rest while recharging. Maybe you can use it to build more capacity, more skills. Maybe you can use it in a way that will help you to become a problem solver in that area. I'm just saying. So we've laid the foundation for strategic thinking. Next week, we will go deeper because there are some fundamental components that I want to talk about that we as individuals we need to have when it comes to strategic thinking, and we will deal with them in the coming weeks. I'm going to end here because I always promise I just want to take one highest 1 hour of your time um, to help us. So I'm going to end here, and I pray and hope you all have been blessed by this, and that when we hear of strategic thinking, we will see things a bit different. We will see things a bit different, hopefully. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for following. This is Helen Aya, and I hope to see you next week by the grace of God again for another edition of Discovery Time, where we'll go deeper into strategic thinking. All right. Be blessed. Take good care of yourselves and see you soon.